On to the Philadelphia Eagles, another team that, obviously there's been a tough offseason start so far. They dumped their OC, Kevin Patullo, and brought in Sean Mannion. Speaking to NFL Network, Saquon Barkley talked about his experience with Mannion's offense so far.
For me, it's just about, it's refreshing. You get something new. You get to learn something new. I got to meet him. We didn't really talk about X's and O's and kind of just really, kept it just introduction and got to meet a lot of the new guys on offense. But as a competitor, you love it. You love the challenge of putting yourself in a new system and, doing the things that you do really well and also things that you need approval on and that they're going to challenge us to do.
Well, we'll see if Sean Mannion's offense works. He's young. I'm not going to hold it against him because he's young, because a lot of times these young guys come in. Jesse Minter at one point was young and great, and Mike McDonald's young, and Sean McVay's young, and Mannion may be a great coach. I have no idea. I mean, listen, you played in the game. You're in your early 30s. People are more experienced now at 23 and 33 than they were in my generation. So to me, they were such a mess offensively last year. Is it realistic to think that a young offensive coordinator is going to connect with a lot of young pro athletes and upgrade the offense? That doesn't sound unrealistic to me. You don't know what Sean Mannion's offense is, but I listen, to get hired by the Eagles, at some point you had to blow somebody away in the interview process, and I imagine one of the people was Howie Roseman, and I trust his judgment. Now, they've whiffed on some and hit on others, but I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to talk about the Eagles. We don't know. Nobody has any clue what his offense is going to look like. Is Hurts going to be under center? Shotgun? Does he like multiple tight ends? We have no idea. Plus, the A.J. Brown stuff looming. So I don't know. I'll remain optimistic because I like Jalen Hurts. I know you're a hater, but that's fine. It's okay.
You were quick to criticize me last week following my video, weren't you? So, before I dive in, let me address something important. To the Philadelphia Eagles fans, everyone out on the East Coast, I genuinely hope you're all holding up well, my kings and queens. I'm aware there's a significant snowstorm battering that region, with some areas reportedly seeing 2 feet accumulation. That's ironically about the same height as quite a few Jalen Hurts supporters. A bit of a wild coincidence, isn't it? Perhaps the snowfall managed to wash away some of that negative energy. Anyway, the prevailing narrative from some corners is that this has been a rough off-season for the Eagles. I'm here to argue the complete opposite. This has been a tremendous offseason. They've successfully brought in an impressive, up-and-coming offensive coordinator who's widely recognized for his sharp football mind. They've secured a coordinator whom people genuinely respect, acknowledging, this individual understands the game. He has a clear vision and the capability to execute it. They found their version of a young, innovative offensive mind, their potential next Sean McVay or Kyle Shanahan. They accomplished that critical hire. That is a significant victory. Let's talk about the offensive line. With stalwarts like Lane Johnson and others expected to return, the foundation is solid. Let me be unequivocal about this. I'm stating it plainly. Provided the offensive line remains functional, provided it holds up and performs at a legitimate level. And I'm not ignoring the possibility that Johnson could get hurt or Dickerson could miss time. But assuming, for the sake of this argument, that the line is actually competent, that it's good enough, that it doesn't become a glaring liability like we've witnessed with other teams such as the Chargers or the Texans last season. If that baseline is met, this offense is poised to be light years ahead of where it was. Light years. Think about the core. Saquon Barkley, a relentless worker with exceptional football intelligence. A.J. Brown, similarly dedicated and intelligent. Devonta Smith, the same profile. And Jalen Hurts, whose work ethic and football IQ are unquestioned. You have a collection of players who are committed to putting in the effort, who understand the demands of the game, and who have proven they know how to play winning football. It's worth remembering that this core group has been to multiple Super Bowls and has secured a Lombardi trophy. They have demonstrated that they understand what it takes to succeed at the highest level. That institutional knowledge is invaluable. Therefore, if that offensive line holds up and these players maintain their commitment, which I fully anticipate they will, then I have absolute confidence that Kellen Moore is going to elevate this offense. Furthermore, consider the recent comments from Saquon Barkley. What he shared adds another layer of credibility to this situation. He was transparent about the fact that last year, there wasn't sufficient time dedicated to the strategic nuances, the X's and O's. He didn't attempt to conceal that fact or offer excuses. He simply stated it, and his remarks about the new coaching staff being refreshing and exciting carried an authenticity that's hard to fake. That honesty matters. That transparency resonates within the locker room and contributes to a healthy culture. And that intangible element can make a significant difference. It's genuinely amusing to observe the ongoing discourse surrounding this team. You'd think, listening to some analysts, that the Philadelphia Eagles are perpetually on the verge of collapse. You'd think they were a franchise mired in dysfunction, akin to the Cleveland Browns or the Cincinnati Bengals, based purely on how their offseason is being framed. I often wish there was a way to conduct a blind reveal, a method where we could strip away the team identifiers, the player names, and the coaching staff details, and simply present the narrative being spun about them. Then ask, which team do you think this is? Which franchise has the most wins over the last 3 years? The way people talk about the Eagles, you would never guess their recent track record. You would have no idea that they just won their division, or that the year before that, they won the Super Bowl and set multiple offensive records. Based on this segment alone, would you have any clue? None whatsoever. The conversation would lead you to believe they were the Cleveland Browns. That's the absurdity of it all. The narrative is so disconnected from reality. Regardless of the outside noise, it's going to be another entertaining season. That much is certain. And my optimism regarding Kellen Moore's ability to revitalize this offense is not something I express casually. I don't say it lightly. Go back and check my track record. From the moment Kevin Patullo's name was announced as the offensive coordinator, which happened during the Super Bowl run, so there was immense interest from Eagles fans wanting my take, I was hesitant. I kept repeating, I don't know, I'm not entirely comfortable with this situation. I voiced that skepticism repeatedly. Even after the Week 1 victory where Jalen played well, I pointed out that the truly spectacular moments weren't schematic wins. They were individual brilliance, Jalen creating off-script. I maintained my reservations before it became a popular stance. At the time, not many shared that skepticism. Now, with Kellen Moore at the helm, my sentiment is entirely different. I am filled with genuine optimism and excitement about the direction of this offense. I'm not backing away from that position. That's why I place my trust in the players. That's why I emphasize that as long as the offensive line remains sufficiently healthy and Kellen Moore can implement his vision effectively, the responsibility for success rests on the shoulders of the talent. I'm willing to bet on Jalen, Devonta, AJ, and the rest of that core to deliver. Those are simply my reflections on the matter. I'm genuinely interested in hearing your perspectives. What is your assessment of the Philadelphia Eagles and this supposedly disastrous offseason? The horror of it all. They moved on from an ineffective coordinator and brought in a highly regarded one. Oh, the sheer terror, the catastrophe of it all. It's such a Philadelphia story, isn't it? And what about the A.J. Brown situation? Share your thoughts in the comments section. I read every single response, whether you're in agreement with my take or you vehemently oppose it. Either way, let's spark some meaningful conversations. Let's engage in some spirited debates. Ultimately, the goal is to share our passion for the game and have some fun doing it. And please, if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. We're cultivating an amazing community here, and I genuinely value having you as a part of it. I aspire to create something that fosters a genuine sense of connection, something we're all truly excited to contribute to. I believe we're making substantial progress toward that objective. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it significantly enhances visibility and supports the algorithm. Thank you so much for your continued support. I'll see you in the next one.